friends, today I would like to talk about how we actually make a good piano sound. So after the introductory video about why do we need to focus on production of a single piano sound, I talked about that a production of sound belongs to piano technique. I also talked about that to play legato sound, connected sound, is very difficult on piano in comparison with sound production and legato playing on different instruments rather than piano. So to achieve a good piano, beautiful piano sound and to play legato, what do we need? First of all, and it's very important, and it may seem to you silly or sound silly, but it's very important for everyone who considers to be a pianist, to want to be a pianist. How do we sit? Our posture. So we do need to sit straight. We do need to sit in the middle of the keyboard. Yeah, facing the middle of the keyboard. Our legs should be about 90-degree angle and stay strong and comfortable on the floor. And when we play, we can move our torso if we need to the right, if we have to reach the higher sounds, or we can move our torso to the left if we need to reach the lower sounds. But our shoulders stay in the places and they do not go higher. What do we need to move constantly is our hands, actually our elbow, and our wrist should be very flexible, all this. So if we move in to the right, with the right hand, so the elbow would lead the fingers, and then when we move down the keyboard, it's the wrist which angles and the wrist will lead down. The same for the left hand. So up, it's basically the wrist motion, and down, your elbow leads the wrist and the entire hand, and of course the fingers. Now, so these are the basic posture and basic main things. How do we sit at the piano to produce a good sound? Then what we need to consider is how do we play? What do we use besides the bigger muscles, the bigger motions of our hands and upper body? What else do we use? Of course, we use the fingertips. So fingertips are very important, and I tell my students that fingertips should be very, very sensitive. Yes, I mean that. Sensitive as when we touch anything we feel, if it's warm or if it's cold or anything we feel. We have nerves here, and thus we have to feel every key. And our brain can send signals to our tips and tell them, okay, here is that emotion in the music, or here is that emotion, or here is that what I want to express in the music. And our brain gives the signal to our tip to play with certain emotion. And when we are trained, actually how to produce a sound or a few sounds into a phrase, with that certain emotions. How should we press the key? How should we take? I like word take the key instead of press the key. Actually, we take a lot. Our motion, the finger motion, the tip motion should be taken. So somebody say caressing the keys or patting like you have a pet and you would pat them, which is great too. So basically we are taken with our tip, taking the key. Now when we play, let's say, a slow music, a slow phrase, we sure tend to play with more flat tips, yeah. So basically that's how we reach the key, right? For example, so that's basically more flat approach, um, but when we play a little bit faster phrases, yeah, then we would maybe curl more, yeah. um, so this is how we touch, this is how we approach keys. Now, what else besides tips? Of course, our hand has weight and our upper body, that's what we use to produce, let's say, more juicy sound, more open sound, more rounded sound, more velvety sound. So we use weight of our hand, of our wrist, of our arm, and the entire hand, and even from our back, okay? So for example, I may play the same, the beginning of the Nocturne by E flat major by Chopin with the bigger sound, yeah, like more mezzo forte sound. So then I use more weight from my arm and my upper body. Right? Or I can play the same beginning of the Nocturne with a softer, more dreamy sound, and then I would use less of my weight, but still I use relaxed hand. So here is an example. So this is the beginning. So I use more softer sound, more I would say lazy sound, yeah, rather than more straightforward sound. So, and yes, as you already guessed, important is we relaxed our hand. And how do we do that? First of all, we have to think that there is a connection everywhere in our body, so muscles are all connected, and of course brain is our boss. So brain tells us how to play, brain tells hands, brain tells tips, yeah. So it's very important that we think, that we manage how do we play, not just let our fingers to play however they want. It's the other version, yeah. The brain, we tell how we want, what we want, and how we want to play. So the relaxed hand, how do we do that? It is important to think that we use bigger muscles, the bigger hand motions, as well as the small hand motions. I mean, small, not hand motions, but rather tips, yeah, that what we call smaller motion. And also we can use small motion of our wrist, which is very important, that our wrist is breathing like it's alive, like our hand is like it's a singer, right? Singers, they take breath, right, to sustain a sound, and of course to be able to sing and not to die, right? They breathe. So our wrist can breathe as well, and should do so. So for the bigger motion, we can incorporate a few exercises, and I do that with my students, and especially with beginners, but also with students who are not beginners or intermediate or even advanced. So basically we need to relax. How do we relax? How do we relax? We just relax. So you can feel just hanging right there, and you can feel, let your hands to completely relax, feel them became heavy and heavy and heavier and heavier. Or also you can stand up and just bend a little bit and relax your hands. This is the same exercise. For little children, I call it Humpty Dumpty. So after we relax, then you can feel more heavy hands, and you can feel that you can manage your weight. So to manage weight, that is a different story, and I will continue in my next video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. Have a wonderful day.